Here's a quick thought experiment. Imagine waking up tomorrow with every resource you could ever need. Money, time, freedom. No restrictions, no limits. What's the very first thing you'd do? Now, imagine you don't have an answer. That awkward silence in your mind, that knot in your stomach, that's the shadow of purpose anxiety. The modern pressure to have a life mission so clear and so extraordinary that anything less feels like you're wasting your existence. And here's the irony. The more we chase our true purpose, like it's some hidden treasure, the more miserable, indecisive, and stuck we become. Because the story we've been sold about purpose is wrong. Part 1. What is purpose anxiety? Purpose anxiety isn't just being stressed about the future. It's that restless, sinking feeling that life is on hold until you discover the one grand mission you were born to do. It's the belief that every day spent outside of that mission is a wasted day. It often starts innocently. A friend shares a motivational clip about finding your why. A speaker on stage declares, if you're not obsessed with your purpose, you're living wrong. At first, it feels inspiring. You start asking yourself big questions. But slowly, that inspiration mutates into a measuring stick you can never measure up to. People describe it differently. Some say it's like running a race without knowing where the finish line is. Exhausting, directionless. Others say it's like waiting for a movie to start, only to realize they've been sitting in the theater for years. And here's the cruel part. While you're busy waiting for the big thing to show up, life is already happening. Real moments, real experiences. But purpose anxiety convinces you none of it counts until the grand mission arrives. Part 2. Why it's everywhere now. 150 years ago, your life path was pretty much decided for you. If your family farmed, you farmed. If they ran a shop, you took it over. The concept of finding yourself wasn't a common luxury, and most people didn't feel cheated by that. They found meaning in their communities, families, and daily work. Fast forward to now, and the script is flipped. We live in a time of infinite possibilities. We can reinvent our careers, move across the globe, start a business with just a laptop. It's freedom on paper, but freedom with no anchor can feel like free fall. Psychologists call this the paradox of choice. The more options we have, the harder it is to choose, and the more we second-guess whatever choice we make. So you start down one path. Maybe you go into design or medicine or teaching, and almost immediately your brain whispers, what if your real purpose is over there instead? And while you're scanning the horizon for the real thing, time just keeps ticking. Part 3. How social media amplifies it. If the paradox of choice is the spark, social media is the gasoline. Not only are we surrounded by other people's lives, but we're surrounded by their highlight reels. We see the 23-year-old who sold a startup for millions, the 19-year-old who became a best-selling author, the before and after transformation that took 30 seconds on your feed, but maybe 10 years in real life. You rarely see the in-between, the failed launches, the rejections, the nights wondering if they'd made a mistake. But your brain doesn't care. It just sees the gap between their fast success and your slower, messier reality. Purpose anxiety feeds on that gap like it's a buffet. Part 4. The trap of the one true purpose. One of the most damaging myths in self-help is what we call the one true purpose myth. The belief that you were born for a single, monumental mission. It's seductive because it promises certainty. It tells us there's one correct path, and if we could just find it, all confusion, doubt, and restlessness would disappear. But that's not how real life or real purpose works. Purpose is far more fluid than the myth suggests. It shifts with your seasons, your circumstances, and your growth. A person might find deep purpose in travel and adventure during their 20s, in building a business in their 30s, and in raising a family or mentoring others later in life. None of those seasons are wrong. They are all chapters in the same book. The trap is that when you buy into the one thing story, you lock yourself into a narrow definition of success. Life will force pivots, injury, burnout, or global changes. And if you cling to the idea of a single, unchanging purpose, these pivots will feel like failure instead of transformation. The truth? Every pivot is an invitation to evolve. Purpose isn't a statue you carve once and protect forever. It's clay you keep shaping as you live. Part 5. The Science of Meaning. Dr. Michael Steger, a leading researcher on meaning, says purpose isn't about having a single permanent mission. It's about feeling that life is coherent, significant, and guided by values. And here's the liberating part. You can experience that without a grand master plan. It's in the small acts that align with your values. A nurse calming a scared patient, a friend checking in on someone going through a rough time, a gardener planting flowers in a park for strangers to enjoy. These aren't headline-worthy moments, but they're meaning-rich. Part 6. The Cultural Pressure Factor. In many Western cultures, worth is tied to productivity and visibility. It's not enough to live well, you have to prove it, document it, monetize it, turn it into something impressive enough to earn likes, followers, or a TED Talk. This creates a strange kind of double life. Living is no longer just about the experience itself, but about how well you can package that experience for others to see. Climb a mountain? Great. But did you film the drone footage? Learn a skill? Fantastic. But did you turn it into a side hustle yet? Other cultures approach meaning more quietly. In Japan, the concept of ikigai blends what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. It's not about rushing to find a single true calling. It's about weaving together the threads of your life into something both personal and useful. The difference is subtle but profound. One culture says you're only valuable when you stand out. The other says you're valuable when you contribute. And there's something liberating about contribution-focused meaning. It removes the need for constant reinvention to stay relevant. It shifts the focus from self-promotion to steady, authentic engagement with the world around you. When worth is measured by contribution, you can take joy in the quiet, unglamorous moments. Helping a neighbor, teaching a skill, tending a garden. None of it needs a spotlight to matter. And yet, in those acts, purpose often feels the most real. Part 7. The Shift in Perspective. What if purpose isn't found like treasure, but cultivated like a garden? Gardens aren't discovered. They're grown through planting, watering, patience, and care. Some plants thrive, some don't. You try again. Purpose works the same way. Instead of asking, "What's my ultimate purpose?" try, "What feels meaningful right now?" It could be helping a neighbor, mastering a skill, or solving a problem that's bugging you. Do enough of those moments, and over time, you'll look back and see a pattern, the quiet shape of your purpose emerging. And just like a real garden, there will be seasons. Some seasons are for planting, others for harvest, and some for letting the soil rest. A lack of visible growth doesn't mean nothing is happening. It often means the roots are getting stronger. This shift in mindset takes the pressure off the one big answer and replaces it with curiosity. You stop obsessing over whether you've found the thing and start noticing how much life there is in the small, deliberate acts you choose each day. Part 8. Practical Ways to Loosen Purpose Anxiety. 1. Stop romanticizing purpose. It's not always glamorous. It's often repetitive, quiet, and unphotogenic. 2. Experiment freely. See life as a laboratory, not a straight road. Test things. Some will fail, that's the point. 3. Anchor in values, not titles. Titles change. Roles end. Values travel with you. 4. Ditch the deadline mindset. There's no late, no early. Only your timing. 5. Focus on the next step. Purpose reveals itself through movement, not sitting and waiting for clarity. Part 9. Final Reflection. Purpose anxiety convinces you your life hasn't started yet, but it has. You're already in it. The conversations you've had today, the kindness you've shown, the problems you've solved, however small. Purpose isn't a lightning bolt waiting to strike. It's a thread you weave daily, often without realizing it. So maybe the real question isn't, what is my purpose? Maybe it's, how can I live with purpose right now? Because that's the only moment you ever really have. If this hit home, you might need to hear it again on the hard days. So save it for later. And if you're ready to let go of the pressure to figure it all out, stick around. Give it a like, share, and subscribe to The Old Soul's Guide for more honest, no-fluff wisdom on navigating life.